So last night, the Super Bowl was determined. Basically, the teams that will be playing in it. That being the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams. Now, a lot of people are going to be touting this as, LA being the second team in a row and the second NFL team in history to be playing in the Super Bowl on the home turf. And I guess you could say that's true. And the reason I say it like that is you have to put an asterisk next to that statement of LA being the second home team. Because technically, they're not. I mean, yes, part of, let's say 25% of that is indeed true. There's 25% truth to that, but the 75 other percent of it is not truth. Here's what I mean. You see, the Rams share rent of SoFi Stadium with the Chargers. And because of that 75% of, sharing, if you will, with the Chargers makes SoFi Stadium a neutral site. Yes, 25% of people saying the Rams are going to be the second home team to play the Super Bowl at home. Yes, that is indeed true. There is truth to that. I am not denying it. However, because of the fact that they share rent of SoFi with the Chargers, the basically 75% of that, basically is telling us that it's not true. And because of that other 75% that outweighs that 25%, we are pretty much looking at SoFi as a neutral site. I mean, it'd be like if you would say, in Super Bowl, what was it, 19 or 16 or whatever? No, Super Bowl 19, when the 49ers met the Miami Dolphins in Stanford Stadium. It'd be like saying the 49ers were technically playing a home game in Stanford. Yeah, they had a majority of Niner fans there, but you also had Dolphin fans. But, but here's the thing. Yes, the Niners on occasions have played home games at Stanford due to, maybe constructions or remodelings of Candlestick or other facilities like Levi or whatever, right? So they've technically played games there. And that technically made it a home game for them. But, again, you would have to put an asterisk next to that because even though playing at Stanford kind of makes it like a home field advantage game for the Niners, it's still technically a neutral site, even though they've shared it on occasions with the Cardinal, a college team, so they could play games there. The same with, let's say, the Giants and the Jets in New York. Let's say the Giants went to the Super Bowl, when it's being played at MetLife. Yes, people could say that the Giants are technically playing on the home turf and playing a home game in the Super Bowl, but here's the thing. That's not technically true. It's not technically true because, yes, even though the Giants are playing on the home turf, it's a home turf that they share basically with the New York Jets. So even though 25% of that statement would be true, the other 75% would say otherwise. And the same could be, applied here. The same could be applied here with, the Rams. Yes, 25% of that statement of them being at home for the Super Bowl is true, but 75% of it says otherwise because they share, rent. They share the same amenities, the locker rooms and everything with the Chargers. It'd be like basically during the regular season when the Jets would have the Giants on the schedule, but the Jets would be the visiting team. Even though they'd be playing, against the Giants in the same stadium they play home games in, they're technically the away team. And they'd basically just be going to the away locker room for that game before transitioning maybe the next week back to the home locker room. Same with the Rams and the Chargers. If the Rams and the Chargers ended up on the schedule, and the Rams were the visiting team against the Chargers, the Rams, the only change they would have to do is their uniforms, and then, go right into the away locker room, and that's it. And then the next week, if they have a home game, boom, transition their step back to the home locker room. And that's why, when you look at this, yes, you could be happy and proud to say that, if you're a Rams fan, that the Rams are playing at home, being the second team ever in history to play the Super Bowl at home, or playing the Super Bowl at home, And like I said, 25% of that statement is true, but the other 75% of it says otherwise because of that sharing with the Chargers. It thus, by default, makes SoFi a neutral site. It does. It's basically like, let's say when the Rams, when they were originally in LA at the beginning, in the 80s, and they played in the Super Bowl in Pasadena, or was it in Pasadena or somewhere? I can't think of it right now. Or was it the Los Angeles Coliseum? I can't remember. But it's like, if they played, in the Super Bowl back then, and the Super Bowl was, let's say, at LA Memorial Coliseum or Pasadena, or whatever's closer, people could say technically that's a home game for those teams, right? Or for the Rams there, right? Yes, that would be a statement that would have some truth to it, but it's only 25%. It's only 25% because yes, the Rams did move out of Anaheim and into the Memorial Coliseum and shared it with the Raiders before the Raiders went back to Oakland. But like I said, only 25% of that statement would be true. Because even if the Rams played in the Super Bowl after they started sharing, the Coliseum with the Raiders for a brief period, the thing is, the Rams would, kind of be at home, but not necessarily, because 75% of that, 75% of that statement would say otherwise due to the fact of the sharing the stadium with the Raiders. Thus, the same thing here with the Chargers. Yes, you could say that the Rams are at home, but that's only 25% true, while the other 75% says otherwise. Now, here's the thing. If the Chargers were to get their own stadium, if you will, in the future, or would have had their own separate stadium built, outside of SoFi, then yes, you could put the Rams in the same category 100% with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of the fact that they would be legitimately playing at home. And that would be a truth without any dispute. That would be a truth without any dispute. And the reason the Buccaneers can say that is for the fact that it indeed happened on their turf. They played at home, no questions asked. The Rams here, yes, they could technically say that, but again, you have to put an asterisk next to it and look at the fact that if you do a percentage poll, 75% would say otherwise because they share the stadium with the LA Chargers. And that's a fact. That is an absolute fact. And they know it. I mean, UCLA, University of California of Los Angeles, right? UCLA, they play in Pasadena, right? They play in Pasadena. And how many times has UCLA gone to the Rose Bowl, as the Pac-10 champions, the Pac-10 representatives? A lot, right? And yeah, people could say that technically they're playing a home game, but here's the thing. UCLA could easily now move into SoFi and play college games there. They could do that. They could easily, the NCAA, if they wanted to, move the Rose Bowl into SoFi as well. They could technically do that. But they won't, because it's a tradition to be at the Rose Bowl for the games. But, like I said, UCLA can technically say, or not technically, but they can, you legitimately say they play at home. If they get into the Rose Bowl, which is true. But here's the thing. Even though UCLA could say that, a majority of the fans at the Rose Bowl are not just UCLA Bruin fans. You also have the visiting teams' fan base there too. And why? Because believe it or not, the tickets, the packages, they go fast. The ticket packages or whatever they sell for tickets and everything to attend these events, they go fast. And a majority of those tickets go to the team that is on the opposite side of the equation. That's right. A majority of the tickets go to the team that's on the opposite side of the equation. So in other words, let's say UCLA took on Michigan State, a majority of the tickets would go to Michigan State fans. And in this case, you can guarantee without a shadow of a doubt, a majority of those tickets are going to go straight to Cincinnati Bengal fans. So again, even though people can say by a technicality that the Rams are playing the Super Bowl at home, it's only 25% true because of the other 75% saying otherwise. That 75% saying that it's saying that the Chargers sharing, the same rent with them, kind of, basically, nullifies, let's say other 25% of that. The fact that, other teams could play there, like let's say the UCLA Bruins or the UCS or the USC Trojans could play there. That nullifies it. The fact that they have the LA Bowl there and potentially maybe a national championship game and Rose Bowl. The thing is, point I'm getting at, and I know it sounds like I'm rambling, I do apologize, but the point I'm getting at is, yes, the Rams can brag that they're the second team to do this, but you got to put an asterisk next to it because it's not legitimately true. Again, the only way it would be true is if the Rams were the only team playing at SoFi during the regular season. But because they're not, and they share the stadium with the Chargers, that technically makes 75% of that, I should say, will technically, say that makes SoFi Stadium a neutral site. And they know it. They absolutely know it. So, yes, the Rams are playing at home in the Super Bowl. But here's the thing. Making that statement true is only 25% true. Because the other 75% says otherwise. Because of the fact that they share it with the Chargers. And since they share it with the Chargers, basically, that's saying that that's basically saying, like, if the Chargers would have made the playoffs and got to the Super Bowl, they'd be the second home team to play it at home as well, but they would also be in the same category as the Rams are. Well, only 25% of that would be true, and the other 75% would say, yeah, because you share this site with another team, this is technically a neutral site. And that's it. That's it. And the best way they're going to be able to do this is they got to basically make sure that the PA announcer who goes out there and shouts out, "Whose house is it?" and then the fans say Rams house, they got to get him out of the equation because he's going to be too biased. He's going to be too biased. And everybody knows that. And the Rams fans know that as well. So, again, when you get down to it, ladies and gentlemen, and I know, like I said, I know it sounds like a ramble throughout all this. When you get down to it, yes, 25% of what people are saying about the Rams being the second home team to play the Super Bowl at home is true. I'm not taking that away from them. But you look at the other 75%, and that other 75% would say otherwise because they share the stadium with the Chargers, and because of the fact that, not because of the fact, but due to that fact, I should say, basically the Rams, well, not the Rams, but SoFi Stadium, is a neutral site because of that. Again, if the Rams are the only teams there, if the Rams are the only team there, I should say, playing in that game, playing in that stadium for the home games and all that, and the Chargers were somewhere else, then yes, you put them 100% in the same category as Tom Brady and the Buccaneers that did it last year. But you technically can't say that because 25% of them, 25% of that is true, I should say, and the other 75% says otherwise, if you catch my drift. But yeah, there is truth, very, very asterisk 25% truth, while the other part of that, a major part of that, says otherwise. So, I thought I'd just come on here, and I know I sound like I was gibberishing, in rambling and all that. I do apologize. But I just wanted to get the point across here, but that yes, the Rams are technically playing at home, but there is only a slight truth to that due to the fact that because they share it with the Chargers, it makes SoFi Stadium a neutral site. And if it wasn't because of that, then yes, you could put the Rams in, that category with the Buccaneers 100%. But that's all I really wanted to say, guys, and I can't wait for this game. And yes, me and my family, a majority of us are going to be behind the Bengals because they haven't been there since I was like 10 years old, 10 years old. And the fact that, They seem to have more momentum right now, and they're going to probably want it more. So, going to be cheering for them, hoping they hoist that Vince Lombardi trophy and finally take it to Cincinnati for the first time. But what are your guys' thoughts? What are your thoughts on, LA technically, slightly having some truth behind them being the second team to host the Super Bowl at home? What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree with my assessment, even as ramblish it may sound, that basically, the other side says the other percentage of people and everything say otherwise because they share SoFi with the Chargers, that it technically now makes SoFi neutral to them? What are your thoughts? Comment down below, live chat during the premiere. Let me know who you're going to be cheering. Heck, I'll probably put a poll in the live chat so you guys can check that out during the premiere. Let me know who you're cheering for in the Super Bowl. But again, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like in the live chat. Super chats and super stickers are going to be open during the live chat in the premiere. I would greatly encourage you to help donate in that area if you can. Also, check me out at patreon.com/BWRoses. Don't help support me there with the $1, $3 tier. Also, check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2. Help support me there if you can. And also check me out at BW Roses Discussions on all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. And also check me out at VENMO at BW Roses for content you can't get anywhere else. But guys, again, let me know what your thoughts are. How do you feel about what I said here, even though it sounded as ramblish and, all over the place as, as it could be, or as it was, I should say. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree with my assessment that 25% of the, the statement of the Rams being the second home team to play the Super Bowl at home is true, because you got to also put an asterisk next to it, and that the 75% says otherwise, thus making SoFi a neutral site? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below, as I can say in the live chat during the premiere, and I am out.